Welcome to the 2021 European Union Week. I'm Joachim Henkel, Vice Dean of Research at TUM School of Management and one of the organizers. We started the European Union Week in 2017. Since then, we had numerous exciting and informative events and brilliant speakers. A highlight was the speech by Michel Barnier 2 years ago, who gave a fascinating account of the Brexit negotiations. Since 2019, the European Union Week is jointly organized by HEC Paris and TUM School of Management. I'm very happy about this partnership, which, by the way, extends to various other fields. The European Union Week is now not only an event with European topics, but also based on a European collaboration. A wonderful novelty this year is that the program was put together by student groups, by HEC Débat and their equivalent at TUM, the TUM Speakers Series, who actually supported the event in earlier years as well. For obvious reasons, this year's EU Week is online. This may not be quite as intense as seeing and interacting, speaking with the guests in person, but it's simple. It allows us to have one seamless program with elements coming from Paris and or from Munich, and you can participate from wherever you are. There are good reasons to have an EU Week right now at this date. We are facing important global challenges: the climate crisis, migration, and the COVID-19 pandemic. And there are probably a few more. Each of these can hardly be addressed by individual states acting alone. By their very nature, these problems require collaboration to solve them due to the external effects they involve. That should be a notion that is very well familiar to management and economic students. It is true that the EU could probably have done better in addressing these issues in the past. Still, the EU is our best option. Each member state alone cannot effectively deal with climate change, migration, the pandemic, and no European country can stand up to China or the the US. European Union can. So how can the EU improve in addressing these challenges? As the Dutch historian Luc van Middelaar put it, the Union was long based on regulation-based politics, and those have served the Union well. But now we need to move to a situation where we can react quickly to new events, and there are various things that have to be changed. Majority voting is probably one of the changes that are required. I'm confident that the European Union will improve in these regards. Now, coming back to HEC and TUM, why are we doing this? Why are we having an EU Week? What are the goals? There are two goals. One is to inform participants about the EU, and second, to get them excited about the European idea. So both emotional and intellectual goals, both are important. Regarding the first one, we need more knowledge about the EU. We need it in particular to counter populist claims and lies. Populists, such as Boris Johnson, can get away with blatant lies because so many people don't know the facts. The same holds for populist leaders of current EU countries, Poland and Hungary, Kaczynski and Orbán, who not only spread falsehoods, but also dismantle their democracies. Ironically, while bad-mouthing the EU, they happily accept money from it. In fact, did you know? Poland and Hungary are by far the largest net receivers of EU funds. So maybe after all, the EU is not as bad for these countries as their leaders suggest. Specifically for students, the EU is a great thing, I think. I had the chance to go on exchange to Britain, and many of you, many students at both HEC and TUM had the chance to visit other countries that otherwise would be rather difficult to do. So back to Paris and Munich, what's on the menu? HEC Débat and TUM Speaker Series invited an amazing cast of speakers with topics organized organized around 3 themes. Today, the focus is on geopolitics with former UK Minister of State for Europe, Dennis McShane, speaking about the relationship post-Brexit, and Professor Christoph Ahn from TUM speaking about, well, the very early times, Robert Schuman, and how the use started. Tomorrow will be dedicated to innovation and technology in Europe, and it starts off with a panel discussion by 2 professors who are both highly engaged in entrepreneurship, Helmut Schonenberger and Jean-Michel Dahl, speaking about European startups. Then somebody from a research agency, a very interesting one. We have Jean-Jacques Dordain, former Director General of European Space Academy, speaking about space activities of the EU. In the afternoon, we welcome Dr. Peter Körte, CTO of Siemens, speaking about technology with a purpose. And then we introduced to the winner of the Utopie Europa Prize 2021, the R&D team, about responsible ecological digitalization. And finally, the day is rounded off by Pierre Gattaz, the chairman of Radial, role of companies in the construction of post-COVID Europe. That one's going to be in French. And it also leads to the last day, to Wednesday, where this topic, so the EU post-COVID, is the topic of the day. We welcome Louise Fromont, professor from HEC. And in the afternoon, we have a very special guest, Romano Prodi, and who will have a session together with Professor Friedel from TUM about exactly that topic, rebuilding the EU post-COVID. And that day and the entire EU week is rounded off by Ulf Wilberg from the European Court of Justice, speaking about European law. And you may not know this, but there's actually a lot that the European Court of Justice is doing right now, actually thinking about that case, that litigation that's going on between Daimler and Nokia about patent infringement and about some basic rules. And has been very important in other cases as well. There are also a few events during lectures, accidentally at 4 o'clock today, one about the EU and intellectual property, which is a part of my lecture, Technology Innovation Management. Beyond the EU week, I would encourage you to get involved further. And there's a good opportunity right now. There is the conference on the future of Europe. It is meant to give EU citizens a greater say in the bloc's future. As you will have read, there was quite some disagreement, some arguing if it's useful and how it should be organized and who should be in charge. But in the end, as often with the EU, an agreement was found and is going on. So please check it out. You can actually voice your views. Now back to events this week. The next thing on the menu is the talk by Dennis McShane, which should be fascinating. So I invite you to tune in at 3 o'clock. Apart from that, I wish you a wonderful European Union week. Be well. Thank you.